رسول الله ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين وكان الله بكل شيء عليما.
Like us on Facebook. Contact us on WhatsApp. Subscribe our YouTube channel and watch our videos.
الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان وله الجوار المنشآت في البحر كالأعلام.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I extend my salam to all the members who are listening to us and all those members who have joined our stream. Please confirm me, Kashif bhai, am I audible to you?
Ji, sir, you are very much audible.
Shambas bhai, can you listen me? Am I audible?
Sir, you are audible. You are audible. You are very much audible to us.
Ilyas sahab, can you hear me?
जी डॉक्टर साहब आवाज आ रही है अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह
जी. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, Alhamdulillah, we have gathered on this platform after a very long time, and we apologize that especially me and Shambas bhai, Kashif bhai, we all remained absent due to some professional activities. But Alhamdulillah, we have gathered again, and we will try to continue our streams in the time ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, as you must have seen the topic of the lecture today, the revelation of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani regarding Muhammadi Begum, spiritual matrimony or spiritual blackmail. The first part was presented a couple of months ago, but due to some professional activities, I also remained away from the stream. But once again, as I said, we have gathered here and we are starting our stream. Hopefully, we will keep it continued, inshallah. Today, the stream is being conducted in English language because a great proportion of the listeners living across the oceans have requested the host to do so. So here we are because we will give the reply. We also deem it a necessity and need of the day. Our objective is only to unfold the book and to show the masses the inner reality of the Jamaat-e Qadianiyat and to underline the impostor who claimed to be a prophet. Ladies and gentlemen, one should remember the difference between Nabi or Nabba and predictions. A true prophet never predicts, because a prediction may prove true or false, which actually happened in case of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. True prophet does not predict, but he gives the news, and the news happens to be always true. Nostradamus claimed more than 6,000 predictions in his book, and many of them proved false as the time unmasked them. But he never claimed prophethood, and vividly he writes in his book that I am not a prophet. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to be an obstacle between you and the most eloquent and fervent and cut spoken orator of our stream, Sister Sahiba, Spirit Sahiba. I hand over the mic to Dr. Sahiba and let's listen her delightful and elegant speech. Dr. Sahiba, if you have joined our stream, mic is over to you, please. Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, after the lecture, inshallah, I will offer supplication and then we will close our stream. Thank you. Uh, Please confirm me, Sister Sahiba, you have joined our stream.
Assalamu
Yes, I
alaikum
can
wa
see.
rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Walaikum assalam. Most welcome in the stream. How are you, sister? How is
Jazakallah.
everything going on?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I'm very fine, alhamdulillah. How are you, brother?
Yes, fine. Everything is okay. So I'm handing over the mic to you, please. You can continue. Thanks.
Jazakallah. Viewers, we had a program on this prophecy of Muhammadi Begum, the first part, the first episode on the subject. And we have already raised 10 number of questions to the Ahmadis on the same subject. But now today, I'm gonna take another folio of the same subject. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani himself had set a standard for his truth, and I'm gonna discuss the first three slides the standards that he has already put in for himself. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani proclaimed that he was the divinely appointed promised Messiah and Mahdi, which he said was the metaphoric second coming of Jesus Christ. He believed that God communicated with him, and as a matter of fact, he took a pledge of allegiance from his supporters at Ludhiana in 1889, and ultimately he formed a community of followers now known as Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya or the Ahmadiyya movement. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani claimed to be a subordinate prophet of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he had a series of self-proclaimed
I
prophecies.
think there is some issue with your voice, and better if you leave and rejoin the stream.
Okay, let me check. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
So, from where I'm supposed to start? Right from the beginning?
As yes, you will have to start from the outset because there was a pretty long gaps in between. So you will
Okay,
have to
okay.
start from the beginning, please.
نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Respected viewers, we already had the first part of this program on the same subject, that is the prophecy of Muhammadi Begum, a couple of months ago. And I quite remember that we raised a number of questions at the end of that program for the Ahmadiyya brethren to ponder over. Today, we are gonna uplift another folio on the subject. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani has set a standard for himself to prove his truth. And I will first of all discuss in the first three slides the standards that he has set for himself, and then we will proceed further. But before that, I'm going to give a brief introduction for those who have joined for the first time. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani proclaimed that he was the divinely appointed promised Messiah and Mahdi, which he said was the metaphoric second coming of Jesus Christ. So he believed that God communicated with him, and as a matter of fact, he took a pledge of allegiance from his supporters at Ludhiana in 1889. And then he formed a community of followers, now known as Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya or the Ahmadiyya movement. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani claimed to be a subordinate prophet of our holy prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he had a series of self-proclaimed prophecies, and he claimed that the fulfillment of those very prophecies was the clear-cut proof of his truthfulness. So let's begin with different pieces of scriptures from his books. He wrote at page 288 of the fifth volume of famous series Ruhani Khazain, the most suitable mechanism to assess or evaluate his truthfulness is to check fulfillment of his prophecies. This is the very statement of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. Now, as per the settled principle laid down by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani himself, he was to be considered a true prophet if his prophecies went well. Otherwise, he must have been declared a false one. So, again, at page 381 and 382 of volume 15 of his famous series of Ruhani Khazain, he declared that if the prophecy of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani went wrong, he was to be held liable to be penalized. He won't even argue if he was hanged, and finally, this would be the worst form of disgrace. So, in this scripture, he said that he would be liable to be penalized if he turns untrue, and he further showed his willingness to be hanged with his neck strangled. He further reiterates that being proven having the prophecies gone false is itself the worst act of being dishonored and disgraced. And now we discuss his evergreen so called prophecy and afterwards a critical analysis of the same. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani narrates three of his prophecies at page 376 of volume 6. And the wording that he have used is these three prophecies are for the largest three religious streams, that is Hindus, Christians and the Muslims. Now let me explain that the prophecy regarding Pandit Lekram was for Hindus, and that about Abdullah Atam was for the Christianity, and the one that was to be considered as for the Muslims was that of Muhammadi Begum. So these three prophecies were for the largest three streams religiously having in the world. He further stated that the splendorous prophecy for the Muslims had six important points. So let us have a look at these 6 points that belong to the third prophecy for the third religious stream. The first part of it was Mirza Ahmad Beg would die between 3 years of the duration mentioned. Number two, his son-in-law would die between 2.5 years of his being in spiritual relation with Muhammadi Begum. The third clause stated that Mirza Ahmad Beg won't die before the marriage of his daughter. The fourth one was the lady Muhammadi Begum won't die before getting married in the second instance to Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani after being divorced or widowed. Number fifth, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani won't die before all these events took place as such in the same sequence. And lastly and finally, this spiritual marriage or nikah will take place at any cost. So Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani had even laid foundation for this prophecy mentioned in one of his books with an advertisement dated 1st March 1886. And the name of the book is Majmua Ishtiharat, Volume 1. At the ad number 23, page 96, he said, Allah Almighty would spread your blessings around and will be reflourished in deserted family. So, what he is claiming at the same ad that the 6 points that he has narrated earlier, Allah will spread the blessings and will flourish a deserted family. So now the question naturally arises, which deserted family did Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani talk about here? So the respected audience, we need not to worry about the details of the narration, as Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani himself had explained at the adjacent marginal note. Let's have a look at this scan. This pointed towards his prophecy dated 10th of July 1888, wherein Almighty had clearly revealed that Mirza Ahmad Beg, if won't marry his daughter Muhammadi Begum to him, that is Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, he would die within 3 years, and the son-in-law would die between 2.5 years of being tied into nikah with her. And finally, the lady would be in Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani's nikah, and the deserted family is the family of Ahmad Beg. So now it is quite clear that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani had already decided, rather he had made a full-fledged plan, roadmap. Basically, this was a roadmap of what he was going to do. This was not a matrimonial issue simply. Rather, it was regarding inheritance of the forefathers of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani and Muhammadi Begum as well. So, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani was looking towards a bigger spectrum. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani's cousin, Imam Din, who was the culprit mentioned at Siratul Mahdi, with whom Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani spent the pension amount of his grandfather, was basically the paternal uncle of Muhammadi Begum. The property inherited by the paternal aunt of Muhammadi Begum that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani wished to engulf was the only target of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. He didn't just want to put his signatures on the paper required for transfer of legal heir to Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, again prophesied that Almighty has warned me not to sign the documents. And finally, he laid down a condition for this signature, that is nikah of the elder daughter of Ahmed Beg with Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani himself. And the story begins. Now I'm gonna add another scan, ad number 48 at page 133 of Majmua Ishtiharat, volume 1. The initial paragraphs of the mentioned ad emphasize the importance of nikah and polygamy, that is, having more than one wife. Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani said polygamy, having more than one wife, was not only emphasized in Bible, rather it was proven from the biography of several prophets of Bani Israel. Now let's move to page 136 of the same book, where he stated, the family of Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani considered him a fraudulent person who was a liar and proven false in his prophecies, and that Allah Almighty forced the father of Muhammadi Begum to request him for an important task. So Allah Almighty paved way for Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani so that he could approach the father of Muhammadi Begum and requested him to marry his daughter to him. And now what that task was is again mentioned at page 136. Ahmed Beg's sister was married to Mirza Ghulam Hussain, who was absconding for more than 25 years, and the property worth 4,000 to 5,000 rupees that was owned by him was to be transferred in the name of his son, and the name of his son was Muhammad Beg, son of the sister of Ahmed Beg. And obviously the gift deed required signatures of Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani. So this was the basic issue. Long-lasting issue was that Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani had eye on that property, and the gift deed for transfer of the said property required the very signatures of Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani. So what Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani did, he allegedly referred to the Almighty, who in turn directed him to pave way towards nikah with Muhammadi Begum. And then he referred to his earlier ads, wherein he said that he would be source of blessing for a family. But it was in the very instinct of Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani that he warned the opponents of worst results in case they won't agree to him. So he did the same. And this was again narrated at page 136. In case of disagreement on the subject of nikah, the lady will face worst consequences. And then the same thing, blah, blah, blah. Her father would die within 3 years of nikah. Her husband would die within 2.5 years. She would face hardships and worries. So what he was basically trying to do is he was threatening the family of the worst consequences. And finally, Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani concluded that the final outcome will be marriage of elder daughter of Ahmed Beg, that is Muhammadi Begum, with Mirza Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani. And he has mentioned this all at page 137 of the same ad. Now just quickly narrate an abstract at page 162 of the volume 7 of Rohani Khazain. I'm going to show you the Arabic narration. And now let's see the point-wise abstract. Page 162 of Rohani Khazain, Volume 7. Number 1, both father and husband of Muhammadi Begum will die. Number 2, Muhammadi Begum will become a widow. Number 3, she will be reverted to Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani after the death of both of them, that is, her father and her husband. And then none of those will be saved at all. Finally, the Almighty will return her towards Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. So, one of the promises has since been fulfilled, that is, father of Muhammadi Begum died. So, wait for the rest to come. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani is quite confident that the six clauses of his revelation, his prophecy, his so-called prophecy would become true. So he's stating that one part has already been fulfilled, that is, the father of Muhammadi Begum has died already. So let's wait for the rest to come. Now I have a few questions for the Qadiani brethren. Number 1, Allah Almighty had finalized that neither the father nor the husband would be saved. And that was an eternal piece of prophecy. Then how could you justify your claim that husband of Muhammadi Begum was so depressed and repentful and Allah changed the eternal prophecy for his sake? There is yet another question. In the above references, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani has referred to prophecy of the Almighty, wherein it was promised that the same single lady, the same person, the same physical person, Muhammadi Begum, will be reverted to Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani after the death of both her father and husband. Would you then negate the prophecy and claim even that some other lady or some other member of the family would join Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani or his Jamaat at a later stage? Would you dare to negate both the words of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, to whom you consider as a prophet, and even the words of Almighty, because Muhammadi Begum's prophecy was presumed to be from the Almighty? So let's just refer to scan number 4, where the 6 clauses of the prophecy were mentioned. This prophecy was eternal. It was supposed to take place at any cost. And the 6 clauses were death of Ahmad Beg, death of his son-in-law, Ahmad Beg won't die before marriage of his daughter, the lady won't die before second nikah after getting widowed, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani won't die before all this happens, and the spiritual nikah will take place at any cost. So, what if only one out of the 6 clauses were fulfilled? And what about your faith, your belief in such a person whose prophecy that was eternal in nature could not be proven true? So at the end, I would like to request my Ahmadi brothers and sisters to please think over, please ponder over all these references, and please look at all the matter with open eyes and open heart. May Allah guide you to the right path. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you, sister. So nice of you. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, the main objective is to convey the message to those who find difficulty in understanding Urdu and Punjabi, as most of our streams are in Urdu and Punjabi. Ladies and gentlemen, our panel will try to convey renowned topics concerned with Qadianiyat in English to our capacity and understanding. Please leave your comments if you happen to listen on our stream. It may not be up to the mark or may not measure up to the standards in your mind, but it will at least stir neocortex in your brain to think upon. So nice presentation. I find it very pleasant actually. Person who has not only deep insight into the subject but also knows how to convey it. I always find an opportunity to unearth many valuable comments and points from her. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a very nice presentation. I will take comments from the members of our panel and then I will offer supplication. First of all, I would like to go to Kashif Saab to give his valuable comments, and then please Mubashir Saab has joined us. He will give us comments. Thank you. Yes, Kashif Saab, your valuable comments, please.
Yes, it has been truly a nice stream today again, and I was the part of the first stream that was conducted and
Am I
delivered by.
audible to the members?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Am I audible to you as well? Is anyone from the stream, Mr. Mubashir? Can you hear me? Anyone can hear me?
Yes. I can hear to you. Mubashir Saab, you
Yes.
are speaking, I think.
No, I'm Kashif. I'm Kashif here.
Okay. Please continue. Yes, proceed,
Uh,
please.
yes, I was just saying that I had been part of the stream when our very respected Dr. Pai Spirit conducted the first part, where she conveyed about this heinous act of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, how he was trying to hunt a very young pious lady for his own lust without and against the will of that woman and without the will of the family as well, and how he blackmailed the family regarding the matter of property. And now I think this is a good continuity of that part by Dr. Paispira Sahiba, that how she very well explained that how Mirza Ghulam Qadiani made six revelations when he failed to get her to get to that Muhammadi Begum in his nikah very first time. So after that failure, he made six revelations about the death of uh, father of of Muhammadi Begum and then the husband of Muhammadi Begum, and then the nikah and return towards Mirza Ghulam Qadiani. And this is very clear and obvious, as told by our very respected Vice Spirit Sahiba, that out of these six revelations, five were not came into a reality, and they were not proven right, as the husband of Muhammadi Begum was died even after the death of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, and he survived for the 40 years. And Muhammadi Begum had offsprings and a very good life and long life after Mirza Ghulam Qadiani. So uh, these two streams has proven character of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani as a wrong and infidel character, as well as his false prophecies proved him to be an infidel and a wrong person. So I think this is a fantastic stream conveyed and delivered by our very respected by Dr. Pai Spirit Saiba. And this is a message for our Qadiani brothers that they should open their eyes and they should uh, go into that statement of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, that if one revelation of someone proven to be wrong or false, then every other revelation would be considered as wrong and false. So I think our Qadiani brothers should think about it. So it has been a very nice and good stream, and thank you so much, Dr. Saib, that you have given me time to give my comments. And I think stream has to be closed. So I'm just concluding my comments. Thank you so much. Dr. Shah, are you there? Dr. Shahib,
I think there is some issue with the net. I can't hear you. Anyhow,
yes, I've concluded my remarks.
مجھے لگتا ہے ایک بار پھر ڈاکٹر صاحب کی طرف شاید آواز نہیں جا رہی.
Thank you, Dr. Samar Azvi Sahab and Dr. Kashif Sahab and Dr. Pais Pir Sahab. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم أجرنا من النار اللهم أجرنا من النار. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك أستغيث. یا اللہ جتنے بھی بیمار ہیں جہاں کہیں بھی ہیں یا اللہ رمضان المبارک کا مہینہ ہے ان کو شفاء کاملہ عاجلہ عطا فرما دے. یا اللہ جتنے بھی گناہ سرزد ہو چکے ہیں یا اللہ رمضان المبارک کا بابرکت مہینہ ہے ہمارے گناہوں کو معاف فرما دے. یا اللہ جو والدین اپنے بچوں کی وجہ سے ان کے پیپروں کی وجہ سے کسی بھی وجہ سے پریشان ہیں یا اللہ ان والدین کی پریشانی دور فرما دے. یا اللہ جو بچے پیپر دے رہے ہیں میٹرک کے پیپر چل رہے ہیں اس وقت یا اللہ یا جو بھی پیپر دے رہے ہیں بچے یا اللہ ان سب کو کامیابی عطا فرما دے. اچھے نمبروں میں ان کو پاس فرما دے. یا اللہ ان کے والدین کے دل کو ان کی ٹھنڈک کا ذریعہ بنا دے. یا اللہ جو لوگ بھی اسلام کے خلاف کام کر رہے ہیں یا اللہ ان سب کو ہدایت نصیب فرما دے. اور جن کے مقدر میں ہدایت نہیں ہے وہ اسلام کے خلاف کام کرنا چاہتے ہیں یا اللہ ایسی تمام قوتوں کو نست و نابود فرما دے. یا اللہ ہمارے ملک پاکستان کے حالات بہتر بنا دے. یا اللہ ہمارے ملک پاکستان کی حفاظت فرما دے. یا اللہ ہماری آرمی سرحدوں پر کھڑی ہے ہماری آرمی ہمارے جو ادارے ہیں وہ سارے اپنی اپنی جگہ کام کر رہے ہیں مگر اس کے باوجود یا اللہ ہمارے حالات جو ہیں وہ درست نہیں ہو رہے ملک کے. یا اللہ اپنی رحمت سے اس رمضان المبارک کے مہینے کی برکت سے یا اللہ ہمارے ملک کے حالات بہتر فرما دے. یا اللہ جتنی کوتاہیاں ہوئی ہیں جتنی غلطیاں ہوئی ہیں وہ سب معاف فرما دے. یا اللہ جتنے لوگ ختم نبوت کا کام کر رہے ہیں جہاں کہیں بھی نیکی کا کام کر رہے ہیں یا اللہ ان کی مدد فرما دے. یا اللہ ان کی مدد فرما دے. وما علینا الا البلاغ المبین. آمین ثم آمین. السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ.